I'm curious, how did you meet Pete Steele? Like, how did Typo Negative form? Like, what's the Typo Negative origin story?
Well, I met Pete years before Typo, and I think I was like maybe 17, 16, something like that. My brother's 5 years older than me, and my brother went to school with Louis Beetle, Carnivore's drummer. So I knew Louis Beetle from when I was a little kid. First time I ever met Louis Beetle was on a Halloween night. I must have been like 6 years old in Brooklyn, and it was me, my brother, and Louis Beetle, all misfits, walking home, and then you hear like 18 guys with shaving cream, hey, and all of them running down the street. We ran like for our lives. These guys were going to beat our asses. I remember running into Louis Beetle's alleyway of his house to get away from them all. That's how I met Louis, the drummer from Carnivore. And he was up at my house all the time. So that's how I knew those guys, and I knew of Fallout when it first formed, the first band with Josh and Peter and Louis, and I had their single when it first came out. And at the time, I was playing guitar already. So these were like the 5 year older generation guys that were already doing what we were dreaming about doing. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So, fast forward some years, probably about 88, something like that. I was friends with Sal Abroscato. We jammed in the same studio. Everybody jammed in the same studio. It was called Sink the Pink. It was on Flatbush Avenue. He was there for years. Brooklyn's kind of a small place. If you're playing rock music, there's only a few different studios and places to play. And I met Sal. He lived 2 blocks away from me too. Grew up 2
And he's
blocks
the
away.
original drummer, right?
No, Sal. Yeah, Sal's the Abroscato. He was drummer for Typo. Yes. Now Sal took lessons for drumming from Louis Beetle, Carnivore's original drummer. So this is the whole
Okay.
connection. He learned from Louis. And I met Sal through the studios and hanging out and stuff like that. And we became fast friends. And then when Carnivore broke up, I think it was around 88, right? I think Peter was trying to give up music. He was taking some tests to be a cop or something like that, and he cut his hair off. He had no hair. And Sal was like, oh, you know what? He's not doing anything. Carnivore's broken up. Let's see what that motherfucker's doing, And he went over to Pete's house, knocked on the door, see if he wanted to form a band. That's how it started. Sal
Wow.
brought me in. And Peter was like, well, I got all these ideas. And he already had like the majority of So Deep and Hard written. Because this girl had already left him and already destroyed his world,
Mm-hmm.
So he's sitting in his basement. He wrote most of the stuff already. And some of it, I think, was carryover. Some of the songs were carryover from Carnivore, but not too much of it. And he was like, well, I got all these ideas where I want to do this dirge, thrash, metal, noise, core thing, which nobody was doing that. Who heard it? Who ever heard of anything like that then, industrial thing. So I'm going to need a keyboard player. So that's why he brought Josh in from down the block. He hadn't played with Josh for years at that point. Josh was running a studio called Sty in the Sky, which everyone recorded at, for years. That's what he was doing in his house. He turned his house into a studio and brought Josh aboard. That's how it began. From the ashes of Carnivore, really.
Okay. So the first album you guys put out was Slow, Deep, and Hard.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
funny because we were talking
under
about.
the name Repulsion. We
Okay.
weren't even Typo. At first, A New Minority was called, and then it turned to Repulsion, and we made the demo ourselves, put it out, threw it out at shows, and then we found out there was another band, 2 neighborhoods down, named Repulsion. They were like, "We're gonna sue you." So we already got like, oh wait, no, it wasn't Repulsion. Sub-Zero it turned to. It went from Repulsion to Sub-Zero when we got the tattoos. Sub-Zero. And then we found out there was another Sub-Zero. And they were like, we're going to sue you. And I'm like, oh, we already got the tattoos. So really, Peter matched the name to the tattoos.
Oh,
I know
wow.
he's like, oh, it's a blood drive. And maybe there was, but the name went with the tattoo because we're already fucked. We had the tattoo for Sub-Zero, right?
That's cool.
So that's how it
Sub-Zero is
came
a
about.
fitting name too. It sounds like
It was a series of errors. Yeah, it was a fitting name. So was Repulsion for that.